Welcome back. So, last time we covered the opening moves of a pen test, but today we're going to blow past that initial gotcha moment of the hack. We are diving deep into what really separates the script kiddies from the pros, how you prove your findings, how you guide the remediation, and how you close out an entire project with real professionalism. Let's get into it.
So you did it. You're in. You've popped a shell. You have access. But this question right here, this is what really defines your value as a pen tester. Honestly, getting access is just the starting line. It's what you do next, how you document, how you communicate, how you help your client actually get better. That's the real game. So what's the first step?
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to kick things off with the proof of concept. Then we'll tackle a huge strategic mistake I call the root versus the root. After that, we'll cover what you need to do after the test is done, then dive into building the perfect report. And finally, we'll walk through how to close the loop on the whole project.
First up, let's talk about the proof of concept, or PoC. And let's be really clear about this. A PoC isn't about bragging. It's not a technical trophy to show off. It's a critical communication tool. It's how you translate your cool technical hack into a real-world business risk that a C-level exec can understand.
You know, it's kind of funny, the term proof of concept actually comes from the world of project management. It's all about proving something is feasible. And for us, it's pretty much the same thing. A PoC is the hard evidence. It's the smoking gun that takes a vulnerability from a what-if scenario to an uh-oh, this is a real problem. It gives the client the solid ground they need to make decisions.
A really solid PoC does four main things. First, and most obviously, it proves the problem is not theoretical. It exists. Second, it lets the client's own tech teams validate and reproduce the issue themselves. This is huge for getting buy-in. Third, it shows the actual impact. What can an attacker really do? And finally, you can use that same PoC later on to test if their fix actually worked.
So what does a PoC look like? Well, it can be anything from detailed notes and screenshots to a full-blown automated script. And yeah, you know the classic, almost cliché example, popping Calc.exe on a Windows machine. Why do we do that? Because it's harmless, it's undeniable, and it screams, I have remote code execution. It's the perfect, simple proof. Okay, so having that clear proof leads us right into our next topic. And this is a big one. It's a critical pitfall that I've seen completely derail a client's security efforts time and time again. It is the battle between fixing the root cause versus just blocking the route you took. Check this out. On the left, you've got the route. This is the wrong way. It's when a client focuses only on stopping your specific script or your specific attack path. It's short-sighted. On the right, that's where we want them to be, focusing on the root. We're not just fighting the script, we're fixing the vulnerability. Think about it. Don't just change one weak password. Create a strong password policy so no one can create a weak password ever again. And this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. Just because the client blocks your specific script, that doesn't mean they fix the problem. Not at all. A halfway decent attacker is just going to find another way in. Your job is to guide them to the cure for the disease, not just hand them a Band-Aid for one of the symptoms.
Okay, so the active testing part is over. You've got your proof, you've documented your findings. Now the real professional work begins. We're entering the post-engagement phase. These are the absolutely crucial steps you take to wrap things up cleanly.
And the very first step is cleanup. You have to be like a ghost. Leave that client environment exactly as you found it. That means deleting all your tools, reverting any config changes. And look, if for any reason you can't revert something, you tell the client immediately. No surprises. And you document every single thing you touched in the report, even if you put it back perfectly. This right here is why your notes during the test are so critical. Now we get to it. This is, without a doubt, the most important part of the entire engagement, the report. Look, your technical skills get you in the door, but the quality of your report is the lasting value you give to the client. It's the whole reason they hired you in the first place.
See, a great report is written for a bunch of different people all at once. You've got the executive summary for the leadership team, the people who sign the checks. You've got the attack chain that tells the story of how you got in. Then you've got the nitty-gritty detailed findings for the sysadmins and devs, complete with clear steps so they can reproduce it. And finally, you have your recommendations and all the supporting data in the appendices.
And here's a huge pro tip. You never, ever just drop a final report on a client and walk away. The first thing you send is always a draft. This gives them a chance to read it, ask questions, maybe even to correct something you misunderstood. It makes the final report 1,000 times more accurate and useful.
All right, the draft report is in the client's hands. We are officially in the home stretch now. It's time for closing the project loop. And trust me, this is way more than just sending out an invoice. It's a structured process to make sure you finish strong.
A smooth closeout always follows a clear process. First, you hold a meeting to walk them through the report. After you get their feedback, you issue the final version. Then, you often come back to do post-remediation testing to check their fixes. After that, you handle all the project data according to your agreement. And only then, at the very end, do you send the final invoice.
And that post-remediation testing? This is what it often looks like. You give them a simple, clear table just like this one. It instantly shows the progress, what's been fixed, and what still needs work. For a client, this is a beautiful, crystal-clear snapshot that shows they got real value from the engagement.
Okay, a quick but super important point about professional boundaries. During remediation, your role is to be a trusted advisor. You give advice, you explain the why, you do not write code for them, you do not patch their systems, and you do not make config changes. You have to maintain your independence as an auditor.
I really want to leave you with this thought because it's so true. Your technical skill? That's just the price of admission. At the end of the day, clients don't remember the fancy zero-day or the complex exploit chain. They remember how you communicated, how you treated them, and how you made them feel throughout the entire process. That's what builds a reputation. So, as you keep grinding away, honing all those amazing technical skills, just ask yourself this. Are your soft skills, your ability to write, to speak, to advise, are they as sharp as your exploits? Because that right there is what turns a great hack into a great career. Thanks for watching.